So the first tool I want to show you today is our inside circles. And we have a variety of different sizes. They start at 1/4 inch and go to 3/4, 1/2 inch and 3.5, 3/4, and of course my favorite, which is 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, and 4 inch. I also have a larger set that does 5, 6, 7, and 8. We have them in the low shank as well. I like to start with circles because, as I tell people all the time, a circle is more than just a circle. It is a curve and an arc, and there is a wealth of designs just in circles. If you're trying to debate which tool you want to start with first, I highly recommend you check out circles. Now, we're going to move to the inside, and what I want to show you is how we get 4 different circles out of one tool. So this is one here is on 1 inch. If I take this circle out, I'm going to turn my key to match my circle. See how that works? And now I have a 2 inch circle. So we're going to take out the first ring, turn our key to match the circle. Take out the second ring, turn the key to match the circle. And the last time, turn the key to match the circle. Now, why do we have it in different? Okay, you have a home machine at home. You could raise and lower your foot to get to the inside. Long armers do not, so they had to have an access point. Okay? Why would you need to use that access point? If you're going to be using different sizes of the same tool, having the access point means you can take off and change your size or change tools without having to cut your thread. And just as a reminder to everybody, this opening is actually 1.5. By the time I go around the inside with my ruler foot, moving the needle 1/4 inch to the inside of that 1.5 inch circle, you have a 1 inch circle. Now, I'm going to be moving around, and I don't want my templates to be moving up and down as I'm up against those needles. So I'm going to add some blue tape to my machine, my template, and this way I'm going to help stabilize the template. Now, I've drawn in a line. I do this design a lot without a line, but when you want to be nice and precise on your border and maybe put in a string of pearls on the inside of your border, down the center, it helps if you have a line. I'm going to drop my needle. I have lined up, there are etched registration lines on this tool. When you're looking at templates to use, make sure you have some type of registration line on the tool so that you can match it up with your template. So I'm going to do a string of pearls. So I'm going to go 1 complete circle. And looky there, it's a circle. It's not an egg, it's not an oval, it's a circle. But I need to be able to move my template, so I'm going to go 1/2 again to get myself down to the bottom. So now this time I'm going to go counterclockwise. This is what I prefer to do. So I'm going to go 1 complete circle and 1/2 again. Now, let me explain better about what I was talking about. Let's say you have a string of pearls and you now want to move to a bigger size. If you raise and lower your foot, you are going to have to cut your threads, which means you have tails to deal with. If, however, you use the opening here, and we'll go to a second size, we'll go up 1 size and add some pearls. What you can do is take off one of the rings, turn your key to match your circle, put your tape back on, and line up your template. And now we can do a 2 inch circle. And there you go. String of pearls, quick and easy. Let's do interlocking circles. That's always fun to do. So I'm going to continue with my 2-inch circle here. Now this time, the first time we started up here at the top of this circle. Now this time I'm going to line up my etched lines on my drawn line, and I'm going to start my foot on the diagonal line that is one of the 4 diagonal lines. I'm starting in the upper diagonal from how I'm looking at it. So I'm going to start up there, and I'm going to do 1 complete circle. 1 complete circle and a quarter more. So I'm going to go down to the bottom diagonal on the same side. I'm going to slide my template down until my foot is on the upper diagonal, line up my etched lines, and do 1 1/4 more. Slide my template down, 1 1/4. All right, let's talk about turning corners. Let's put 1 more of these in. So if I want to go that way, then I can just slide my template over to the bottom diagonal and continue on. Now I'm going to want to reverse my direction going counterclockwise so that when I come around, I'm just doing a quarter here and continuing on. But if I want to go that way, then I need to be over here before I stop this circle because I can't move my template to go that direction. So I'm going to go 1 more quarter, slide my template to the bottom diagonal, and continue on. As you can see, we have interlocking circles. Simple and easy. Now, if you're wondering how you're going to remember all this, don't worry, I got you covered. We have free downloadable instructions off our website. Now, do you need to do a full circle to create a design? Absolutely not. Everybody tells you how to do a simple E for a border design. And just how many of you have been as frustrated I am as I try to do my E, and sometimes I have an E and sometimes I have a crescent moon, and it's not easy to do. Well, let me tell you, it is now. So I'm going to use, let's imagine for a minute that my drawn line here is the seam of my border, the top seam of my border. So I am lining it up. I'm not lining up my etched line on the design. I'm lining up my needle on the line, and I'm putting the diagonal against my foot. Remember, your needle is 1/4 inch away from your foot, the outside of your foot. Therefore, you can't put your template where you want your needle to be. So, I'm going to do 3/4 of a circle. Slide my template. I'm lining up on the diagonals. 3/4 of a circle. Slide. 3/4 of a circle. Now seriously, how many of you ladies have tried to do this freehand and come away from there just thinking that it was just a horrible design? It's even, it's repeatable, and that's the key of templates. They let your stitching be even and repeatable. For all of us who cannot draw for the life of us or find freehand motion to be just an exercise in frustration, templates are a godsend. All right. Now, let's take that 3/4 of a circle again, and let's kind of step it up a little bit. Gonna put my foot on my border seam. Drop that needle down on my seam, down. All right. Now I'm lining up. Now some people have asked me this in my classes, and where exactly am I lining it up? Well, I always take those registration lines and imagine them going all the way through my needle. And that's what I'm looking at, where I'm doing that. So we're going to do 3/4 of a circle, just like we did before. Now, this time, I'm going to do this a couple of different ways for you because I found some people understand it one way and other people understand it a different way. I'm going to fix it so my foot goes to the opposite side of the circle. All right, so what I'm going to do is cross the halfway point. So watch how I go. I'm going to go all the way across to here. I'm going to line up my diagonal 1/4 of an inch from my line, and this time I'm going to go this diagonal. So I'm going to go the opposite direction I did. So I did clockwise first, now I'm doing counterclockwise. And just 3/4 of a circle. All right? Again, cross my halfway point. 3/4 of a circle clockwise. Cross my halfway point, 3/4 of a circle counterclockwise. Can you see the design that's starting to emerge? Isn't that a lovely design? We all love it, but it's really, really hard to do freehand, at least for some of us. Now here's another way to think about this. If you had troubles with the halfway point, move your foot, move your template to the bottom diagonal, and then move it to the top diagonal. Okay? Move the circle to the other side of the line. Move down. What I'm wanting to do is get my template on both sides of the line. So I'm going to the other side of the line and bringing it down. Just wait till you see what happens when we do this with ovals. And voila. So as you can see, circles give you a wide variety of designs. We have string of pearls. We have interlocking circles. We have E's, and E's upside down. And then, of course, my favorite, which is the 3/4 circle on either side. So we've done the outside portions of these so far, and you can see how you've got a lot of potential with circles. Let's talk about my favorite thing to do, which is spirographing, and that's circles. So the first thing I'm going to do is move up to my largest circle, the 4-inch circle. I've already taken my stencil and drawn in my 8 points of my design. I'm using the largest size. I don't need my second piece of tape. I just need one to hold the key in there. Now, if you may have noticed, I don't always bring up my bottom bobbin thread when I'm working with the other designs, and that's just because I want to get through as much as possible. But when I'm working with a spirograph, I always bring up my bobbin thread because you're going to go through the center a great deal, and I don't want it getting in my way. So I am going to line up my etched lines with the lines I've drawn on the quilt. And then I'm going to do a smooth motion around. Stop on the center. I'm going to rotate my template, not my fabric. I'm not going to move the fabric. I'm going to rotate the template. Now note that I am not turning my fabric. I could because this is a small piece, but if you're working with a big piece, you don't want to be turning your fabric. That's the whole point of using templates. You turn your template and then you follow the path the template provides. We've got one more and this is done and we can show the finished piece. Voila! Spirographing on your quilts. It's lots of fun. Now these are all just using the same size. Think about using different sizes in the spirograph, different sizes of chains. You have lots and lots of options. And never forget that a circle can give you a wave, because all a wave is a portion of the circle crossing your center line.